Morg. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Master Ball United Kingdom. Morg. Today, it's finally here, the evolution of the channel. We're going away from cards and we're going to be introducing a special guest. I will hand you over to him right now. Welcome, Tota fan Dan. Say hello, Dan.
Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Yeah, basically we're going through a bit of an evolution. We've gained a few more subscribers, we've changed things up a bit, and now we're going down the route of reviews, reactions, gameplay, and anything else that you guys can put in the comment section for us to do.
So just remember, if you've got any suggestions, please put them in the comments below. Obviously we do cards on a normal basis, but we're now going into, like Dan says, we're going into games, anything Pokemon related, whether that's plushies, competitions, anything you can think of that's actually Pokemon related. So like I said, anything, comments below, let us know. Let us know also what you think of the video, the new change to the channel, if you like it. If there's something you don't like, let us know so we can work on it, and hopefully the channel will grow more and more and more, and we can give back to the community. Obviously Pokemon community is a big thing. I've got a lot of friends through the community. When the centre opened in London, I met a group of friends down there by queuing up for 8.5 hours to get London Pikachu plushie. I also went down with Dan. Dan wasn't as lucky, was you, Dan?
No, unfortunately not. They'd sold out and we didn't even get in.
Yeah.
Wasted journey.
They closed the queue after we travelled 2.5 hours down to London. Got there about 8 o'clock in the morning. Says the queue's closed for today. There was a family from Canada behind. I felt even more sorry for them, because they had obviously got a plane, stayed in a hotel to go to the Pokemon Centre in London. They're all excited. Up to the security guard, he says, "Sorry guys, queue's closed for today. Come back tomorrow." And they was like, "Oh, we can't. We've got to go back home," and blah 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 blah. And yeah, so without further ado, we shall go on to our very first video, where we're going to be discussing the starters from Generation 1 to 4, who we picked, why we picked them, reasons of the anime, the games, and all little aspects. So here we go to number 1, Kanto. So I started with Pokemon Blue, and my first Pokemon was Bulbasaur. Now, the reason I picked Bulbasaur, I like the design of him in general, and I watched the anime before I actually had Pokemon Blue. And then obviously, if you remember, in the anime, he was first discovered in the Hidden Village, and he comes across as quite a big personality. Obviously, he's in the forest and he's protecting all the Pokemon, and he kind of at first challenges Ash, and he has a battle. He eventually ends up battling with Pikachu, obviously loses, and then joins the team and sees Ash in a different way. And he's pretty much all the way through Kanto with Ash, and then eventually returns back to Professor Oak's lab to go and help train the Pokemon there and be a bit of an ambassador for the Pokemon in between the different squabbles. And then you see him again in Sun and Moon, where there's a little bit of a reunion, which is quite a special moment. So yeah, that's my reason for Bulbasaur. And then obviously onto the game itself. First 2 gyms, obviously you've got Brock and Misty, obviously rock and water, and obviously Bulbasaur's grass. So he's really good against them. He's also resistant to Lieutenant Surge, obviously that being an electric type. And then you come to Erika and Koga, and obviously they have poison, and obviously being poison grass type, he's resistant to their poison. He does struggle a little bit against obviously Blaine, because it's a fire type, and Sabrina, but by then you've got the chance to have more of a team. Me personally, I would have an Onyx, normally playing blue, red or yellow. And then for Sabrina, I tend to have some kind of ghost type, one of my favourite Pokemon, Haunter, Gengar. And then obviously Giovanni, by then he's normally a Venusaur, and obviously Venusaur being a poison grass type does quite well against Giovanni's Pokemon. And yeah, that's basically it. So I'm going to hand you over to Dan, and Dan's going to tell you all about his Pokemon from Kanto.
So I started with Pokemon Red, and I chose Charmander. As a kid, in Pokemon Red, after watching the anime, I was upset that Charmander had been originally abandoned by its former trainer. It made me want to do well with my own. It was also Charizard on the cover of Pokemon Red, and that made me want it even more. The fact that this tiny little fire lizard, or salamander, would turn into a fully fledged fire-breathing dragon was awesome to see. In the anime, and although with Ash it was a little rebellious, which also added to its charm, it's been a character that I've loved in my party throughout many playthroughs, and Charizard is one of my favourite Pokemon of all time. Plus, in Red and Blue, it's weak against the first two gyms, unlike Nathan's Bulbasaur, which puts it at more of a disadvantage, but I find that more enjoyable as you feel like you're working harder for your progression through the game. In later games, of course, it gets an X and Y Mega Evolution, and I find the X Evolution with the Blue Flames a design that is arguably the most well received by fans. And with that, we go on to Johto.
So for Johto, very briefly for me, I chose in Gold and Silver. Silver being my first game I had in that region. Chose Totodile simply because I did a bit of research. If you remember the old official guides you used to be able to get from Game and them places, the official walkthrough. Did a little bit of a research before I did it, and I like the idea of for alligator, a big crocodile. And basically, that's pretty much it. I do like Totodile from the anime. Obviously, he's a cheeky little character and he plays a big part in Ash's journey. However, I'm going to pass you on to Dan because this is Dan's favourite Pokemon. Obviously, Tota fan Dan. So, take it away, Dan.
Yeah, for me, Totodile was an obvious choice. And it goes back to the anime. Totodile was the main feature in the very first episode of the Johto Journeys, which was an exciting hype behind it because we got to see so many more new Pokemon after the original 151. Also, Johto Journeys, in my opinion, has the best theme song. It's catchy and you can still find yourself humming it even at my age. Growing up, Johto was by far my favourite region. Let's face it, the legendary dogs, Ho-Ho and Lugia, were breathtaking designs, and their backstories were something that I fell in love hearing about. I believed them as a kid. It was like it was real history. But when you first open those Pokeballs on that table in Silver, Gold or Crystal, and you see the cute Chikorita, the strange yet cool looking Cyndaquil, and then Totodile, I was instantly drawn to it, because my memories of the creature was this funny little bouncing bundle of energy with a voice similar to Donald Duck. It is my favourite Pokemon of all time, and I'm sure that's strange. I like a cute baby crocodile over all of the amazing Pokemon in this fascinating world. But it's a personal bond. It's why he is included in my trainer avatar right here on this channel. My relationship with Totodile is inseparable. Any game where he features, he is in my team, and I wouldn't mind if he never evolved, because I think, as a starter, he's at his coolest, funniest, and most fun. But there is no doubt that a Feraligatr is one of the coolest looking Pokemon too.
I totally agree with that. Also, why Dan touched on it slightly there about Entei and Lugia, that will be something that we'll be doing in the future. Maybe if this video goes well, we're looking into legendaries and mythical, because obviously that's a whole different kettle of fish. So we shall go on to Hoenn. So in this bit, I started with Sapphire, obviously the front cover being Kyogre, and obviously that being water, I went with Mudkip, which literally the reason I went for a water type was only because of what was on the cover of the actual game itself. Once again, I seem to go for the easy options. Back to obviously when we was talking about Bulbasaur earlier. Mudkip is strong very early on in the game against the gyms, so it gives you a good advantage right from the very beginning. And then obviously anime wise, Brock has a Mudkip, and then also later on evolves into a Marstomp, and also Professor Birch had one. It's just a cool little character in the anime basically, and obviously forms a special bond. As everyone knows, the nostalgia value of Pokemon like that. And that's pretty much it for Mudkip on me. So I'm going to hand you over to Dan.
And my choice was Trico. Trico was actually a tough choice for me, but after realising that in previous games I'd chosen a fire type and a water type, I felt like I should give grass type a go. I wasn't disappointed. In my opinion, later on in this list there are better grass types, but Sceptile is possibly the greatest grass type I've ever used, and the best looking final grass starter up to this point. For me, Venusaur was just an overgrown plant, and Meganium had a pretty flower on a small herbivore. Now, while I'll admit Sceptile is no Blaziken for design, I believe Trico aesthetically is the best looking starter in Hoenn. Torchic came very close to becoming my starter Pokemon, but I wanted to give grass a go. But for me, I wouldn't have swapped Trico in the end. In the anime, I really liked Ash's Grovyle and couldn't wait to see it evolve into Sceptile. But I was surprised and enjoyed the fact that Grovyle actually evolved to impress a Meganium it had fallen in love with. It's that classic story of bettering yourself so your crush will notice you. But like most guys who do that, it was eventually shot down in flames. As the Meganium loved Atropius instead of Sceptile, it took it hard and didn't use moves for quite a while. Though it was a long wait to see Sceptile's full potential, I liked the bond between him and Ash that they ended up having, and I believe it's one of Ash's strongest Pokemon in the anime series, even now. And now, we're on to Sinnoh.
We move on to Diamond, Pearl and Platinum. Now, this is by far probably one of the coolest looking starters. There's another one, Gen 8, but we'll come on to that at a later date. I chose Chimchar. Main reason being, I like monkeys and gorillas. So you're probably going to guess who I'm going to choose for Gen 8, but no spoilers, please. Yeah, Chimchar, Little 8. Obviously, fire type. Cool little Pokemon. It's pretty cool in the anime. That's pretty much it for me on Chimchar. So once again, I'm going to pass you over to Daniel over here because he's got more. Take it away, Dan.
So yeah, Chimchar was also my choice. Chimchar is definitely one cute little monkey, like Nathan said, and it's 1,000 times better than any of the Sinnoh starters. But it doesn't end there. Monferno and Infernape in particular is by far the best designed, fully evolved Pokemon starter, maybe Pokemon in general. The beacon of fire blazing on its head and the golden armour with the white trim, I mean, come on. The designer of this deserves a pay rise, his own private island and Nintendo membership for free, for life.
Even against Charizard that you mentioned earlier.
Yes. Ash's Infernape is by far one of the strongest Pokemon in the anime, and after seeing this amazing ape in action, I knew I had to have one. The best of the firefighting types by far, in my honest opinion, and I don't think many would argue. In the anime, similar to the Charmander Ash takes on, Chimchar is abandoned by its trainer Paul, calling Chimchar and Ash scum. It's the perfect what goes around comes around scene though, when Ash, then with Infernape, beats Paul's Electrovive, using its Blaze ability, to advance to the semi-finals in what was probably one of the best Pokemon battles in my memory. Whilst handing Ash his first victory over Paul, talk about a banana skin moment for the young Pablo. Bet he regrets that move.
So we're going to call it a day there. I hope you enjoyed the video, something different. That's the end of part 1. Please join us for part 2, which will be coming soon. Any comments down below, let us know what you thought. any other ideas you've got. We've got a lot more content coming, something different, not only card openings. Obviously, we've got the new card set coming out in August, so there'll be openings with that. And that is pretty much all. So say goodbye, Dan.
See you later for alligators.
That's all for today. See you later. Ta-ra, ta-ra, ta-ra. Hi guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and